Anniversary of William Shakespeare, arguably history's greatest English player.
All of Asst's plays, including Macbeth, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, are widely studied by students of literature. But have you ever wondered whether there's any real value in studying these so-called classics?
Well, and what purpose do such old stories have in our brave new modern world? So, to study or not to study, that is the question we're going to pose to our guests in studio today.
We've got Dr. Liew and Dr. Angus Whitehead from Singapore's National Institute of Education. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning,
gentlemen.
Thank you for inviting us.
So, I mean, the broad question is Shakespeare relevant to today?
Well, I would say most definitely. It's extremely relevant. And I'd say you just have to look around Singapore, really. Had to go in Cho Chu Kang to go and see a film. There wasn't much choice, and I went to see a kind of zombie film, and in the middle of that was an allusion to the Romeo and Juliet balcony scene. I think it's just part of our lingua franca wherever we are, and why is that? It's because Shakespeare is the greatest writer that ever lived. He's not just an English writer. He's not just for English people. He's global. He's really important. I don't know if I can go on.
It's not only the use of language, but it's also morals and values that are taught in some of his stories. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah?
I would rather say issues to some degree. I think the great thing about Shakespeare isn't he's teaching us great moral lessons. I suppose he can do that, but more importantly, perhaps he's asking us provoking questions.
Well, maybe the suggestion is that it's not relevant because of the language. It seems rather highbrow, old-fashioned. You know, nobody speaks like that anymore. You know, well, Warren, what would you say to that if one were to pose that to you?
Well, yes. Well, no one speaks in Elizabethan language.
At least in Singapore.
Yes. Hence, we have study guides, translation guides, right? Like abridged versions of Shakespeare, Shakespeare Made Easy, Shakespeare for Dummies. These are pedagogical tools that we use to introduce students to the joys of Shakespeare.
Although you say we don't speak Elizabethan, but we have got a lot of phrases from Shakespeare plays, such as one that I came across all of a sudden, coined in the Taming of the Shrew, and that came from, "Is it possible that love should of a sedaine take such hold?" So that's a phrase we use quite commonly today, isn't it? And so many of his phrases
did as a doornail
in today's language.
The course of true love never did run smooth. So
that's just one of many.
And not just as phrases, but individual words, the words that we now take for granted, like cold-blooded, for example, blood-stained, even words like fashionable, marketable, laughable, they all appear first of all in Shakespeare's
list is endless.
Well, we're going to pose a few questions to you because we did put it up on our Facebook page and some of our viewers did write in. A question from Sue Yen here. She says, literature in general will make the student think about values in modern life. Reading itself is already a loss of virtue in today's fast-paced life.
And here's another one. Tan CB says, Shakespeare offered us such rich work with depth, capturing enduring themes that are still relevant today to sensitize our learners to the human conditions.
So these comments seem to suggest that, you know, it is useful. There is some character building. It does sort of suggest that Shakespeare's works build moral character in those who study them. You were saying earlier, Angus, that it does build character.
Most definitely, yes. And I would say as well, I mean, you sometimes think in Singapore, such a pragmatic country, in many ways, you think perhaps it seems at the moment there seems to be little room. There seem to be so many worthy things that are being put into the curriculum that Shakespeare, to some degree, is being kind of squeezed out. And I think perhaps that's just a bit of a literal understanding of what's needed when we talk about education. And I think perhaps when we talk about Shakespeare, perhaps he's someone who offers us the chance for students to develop much more subtle skills. You know, I often go into classrooms and find that Singaporean students aren't very good at performing. And I think Shakespeare should be taught in Singapore, not line by line, as unfortunately it has been in the past. It should be done as a kind of performative act.
Dr. Liew, what do you think? I mean, there are different ways of teaching Shakespeare, aren't there? So what's the best way that, you know, perhaps students will really have it sink in?
Well, so we have the linguistic dimension of Shakespeare, the beauty of his language, that literary scholars really dig and get a kick out of. But that can be alienating for some students. So first of all, we focus on the themes, the timeless themes that speak to all cultures, and we try to make it culturally accessible. When I was teaching in secondary school, what I found most challenging, of course, was to enthuse our students to like the plays enough to want to read them line by line.
But how do you do that in this day and age? I'm guessing that to make it relevant to a lot of students, you need to maybe put it into your phone apps or have a video game that they can play as well, so that they can kind of learn in a modern way.
Yes, well,
does that work?
The question I was grappling with was, how do you make of Shakespeare not just more linguistically comprehensible, but more culturally accessible?
Right.
And honestly, I didn't come up with the answer until I met my esteemed colleague Angus here, when I found out that he was working on this perverse project of turning Shakespearean plays into Singlish.
Heresy
yes.
in Singapore.
Yeah, we just tried it and took crack. It can be a bit harder, but it will definitely appeal to locals, because Singlish is a language that's very much a part of our daily lives, you know. So tell us a bit about what this plan is.
Well, just to say something about its origin, like all hopefully great ideas, it was stumbled upon by accident that I got some students in a teaching drama course to rewrite a scene from Midsummer Night's Dream, and one student, Aini, rewrote the scene where, if you remember from Midsummer Night's Dream, where the mechanicals are practicing Pyramus and Thisbe, and she rewrote it in Singlish, and I was just amazed when she wrote that out. A chemical reaction that happens when Singlish and Shakespeare come together, and this is something we want to kind of explore, the fact that, you know, both Shakespeare and Singlish to some degree are marginalised in Singapore, but they're such rich such rich uses of English language.
Well, give us a demonstration on how that can actually work. We'd like to hear.
Oh, right.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, you've called us. Yes. Okay.
Yes. So we have an excerpt here from our Shakespearean compilation, all written by our NIE students.
Yes.
And this is Merchant of Venice. This is the first scene of Merchant of Venice, where the merchant, the eponymous merchant Antonio, meets his best friend Bassanio, who's trying to woo this rich girl Portia.
Okay.
And Bassanio needs money from the rich Antonio. Right? So this excerpt here resets the scene in Singapore.
Right, okay. We're going to do it here.
Yeah.
Sure, please.
So imagine this is a Capitium somewhere.
Excuse our bad.
In Ang Mo Kio.
Okay. That's in Cho Chu Kang, please. Okay. Right. So, friends, Singaporeans, Heartlanders, The Merchant of Venice, retold in Singlish, with thanks to our former student Elton and birthday boy Will Shakespeare. Happy 447th, I think it is, birthday.
49. 449.
Never
mind, 449. Sorry. Okay, let's go.
Give me a figure for maths. That's right. Okay, so one day Antonio was drinking kopi with his friends Salarino and Solanio at the nearby S11 Copitium.
Sian to the max, man.
Why so emo?
Don't know leh, just emo lor.
Must be your shares, lad. Recently our share quite cheered up, right? Keep dropping and dropping.
Don't know lah.
And as they are sipping their drinks, along comes Antonio's best friend Bassanio, who sits down, orders a Milo dinosaur, and says,
Hey brother, I seriously need your help here. I'm in love, but the problem is, this girl, her name Porsche, damn rich here. Her house at one law, the one along the stretch of 6th Avenue, you know. Well, no money to chill her how. Hey, you got money, right? Can lend me some or not?
Okay. Oh, very good.
I can understand why that would appeal to a lot of young students out there wanting to learn Shakespeare, don't you think?
I mean, you put in a bit of hip-hop music, you know, and do it a bit like the movie style when they redid Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio, you know.
But there's no fear of losing the essence of Shakespeare through something like that?
I would say, I think it kind of knocked Shakespeare down from a pedestal, and he would welcome that. He's no longer somebody who's dusty and sort of unread on the shelf. He's become performed, alive, and I think he becomes much more part of Singapore, genuinely part of Singapore.
And what you're trying to do here is really to draw interest. So once I've heard this, I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. Then we start studying the actual book. Is that right? And then you start digging deeper.
Yeah, that's right. It's a way in.
It really makes it relevant to modern
society. We
society.
want to provoke some critical thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens when a sacred icon, meets a profane language like Singlish? I mean, what happens what's lost and gained in the translation?
You get like some of our favorite dishes, rojak. You get things like that. They all taste yummy and they last the test of time. So
we look forward to the book anyway.
Gentlemen,
thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our guests this morning, Dr. Warren Liew and Dr. Angus Whitehead from Singapore's National Institute of Education, on why it is important for students to study Shakespeare and literature.